Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Gargoyles episode reviews. Today we are wrapping up Revelations. It appears Matt Bluestone has betrayed Goliath to Mace Malone and the Illuminati Society, who are intent on breaking Goliath's will. But Goliath is breaking out of their hotel cabal, aka the torture chamber. Matt continues to ply Mace for info on the Society. When push comes to shove, though, who does Bluestone side with? And what will become of the aged gangster Mace? If you're lost, well, you either fell asleep or you didn't watch or listen to the last episode. So go do that if you need to. Check-in time. Yeah, that's a slide you're seeing. Matt's going down one side and Goliath's going down the other. A slide. I swear this is a serious thing. At the Hotel Cabal, Goliath and Matt try to enter the roof access, but it turns into a slide. Matt ends with Mace Malone, and if Matt had gone the wrong way, or if he hadn't had the hotel key, he'd be stuck in the maze. A warm body is all that it takes to activate the room, or so says Mace. Matt's hair is cooler when it's mussed up, by the way. Here's some heavy-handed foreshadowing, FYI. You'll note that the number 23, which is on the key that Mace is holding up, is seen sometimes in conspiracy lore. Matt's number was 13. Just then, Goliath disappears from radar. Mace grabs a machine gun and sets off to hunt him down. If the Illuminati finds that Mace has allowed the gargoyle to escape, they'll cut Mace's pension and his rejuvenation drugs. I think the treatments need some work there, because they're not doing much. I've seen people 100 plus years old who look better. And there he is, setting off with his machine gun. His Tommy gun, or whatever it is. No, actually. There he is, setting off with his big old rifle. You know, there's not a mechanism that floods the room with poison gas in case this happens. You have to actually go out there and manually take care of things. Mace finds Goliath climbing up an elevator shaft. Mace calls this a one-way mirror, by the way. It's a mirror into the shaft. I think most mirrors are one-way. It's the two-way ones you gotta watch out for. And he's going to start shooting through glass, because that's a smart thing to do. It's going to be real accurate. Taking aim through the two-way mirror, Mace is about to fire when Matt tackles him through the window. Why tackle him through it? You can tackle him sideways, you know? And that picture of them falling through the glass, that's just a bit over the top. Also, that's some pretty weak glass. I have walked full force into my glass sliding doors, and all I did was give myself a bloody nose. Now, here, Goliath actually snags Matt as the detective plummets. Somehow, Mace catches himself on the big cables. Oh my goodness, rope burn. Seriously, your hands would be devoid of flesh at that point. Fall faster, Goliath. Yeah, catch the free-falling Matt. Turns out Goliath and Matt planned all this, just to make it look like Matt was on the Illuminati's side. What the overall plan from there was, I don't know. So what if he catch Mace revealing the Illuminati's secrets? He's a crazy old man, they could always say. Or they could just kill Matt. Or, you're really not gonna get any news coverage on this. So, or if you do, it'll just be Travis Marshall mocking you, like he mocked the woman who saw the city turn to stone. Well, either way, any evidence Matt found would vanish, just like Mulder's evidence always vanishes at the hands of the smug smoking man. Now, here's a very, very spry Mace here, shimmying his way back up the cable. Pretty spry for an old guy. Mace rails at Matt, but the joke is on the gangster because Matt took his key. The old guy is left to wander the halls. Is no one outside monitoring this place? Is nobody keeping tabs on Mace and his operation? Probably Mace spent a max of 6 hours wandering around before some Illuminati colleague came to investigate. Bet he was a laughingstock of the group. Well, according to Greg, though, and I quote, "And of course, I enjoy the irony of Mace being trapped in a hell of his own making. And I like the notion the Illuminati just left him there to rot. He had outlived his usefulness. A non-member had found him, thanks to his annoying sentimental habit of visiting Pine Lawn," that non-member being Matt, by the way, "and he had failed to hold the gargoyle in the cabal, breaking a perfect record. Oops. End quote. I guess it would send a message to the members that to severely punish Mace for screwing up, but one has to think of the politics within the society. Somebody was bound to have an issue with this. Also, think of another message it sends. Even though Mace was indispensable to the Illuminati at one time, we're not told if he still is indispensable. I really doubt it. And even though he gave up everything for them, they're letting him die a nasty death just because he failed in a mission he might not have been fully qualified for. Like, who sends some, 100-year-old guy out to do this particular job? If this happens enough times, members will get nervous. They're going to be thinking that if it could happen to Mace, it could happen to them. A bunch of nervous members isn't good. Get enough of them and they'll flee en masse to make their own group. Then again, it won't happen to me fallacy is common, so perhaps they could get away with abandoning Mace. And again, what sort of information were they trying to get out of Goliath? The story, it's one of those plots where the writers didn't seem to think it through, where if it actually had happened, like if Matt had not been able to save Goliath, like what would have happened here? What was the end game for the Illuminati? Did they want to know where the Gargoyles were? Did they, I don't know, what do they want from him? Do they want a sample of his tissue like Severius wanted back in Metamorphosis? Do they want to experiment on him for some weird reason? I really don't know. And why wait till now? Surely they've known the Gargoyles are around. They know everything else. And which is another reason. Why do they actually even need this hotel when they are the Illuminati? They kind of, make their living by knowing everything and having people everywhere. And honestly, you don't need torture to get things out of most people. It's really sort of a sign that you're bad at this whole interrogation thing. It's a lack of skill. I don't know that from personal experience. I just watched a podcast from a British interrogator who worked during the Cold War. And he said he never used any sort of torture. But he got what he wanted. Oh, and there's poor Mace running around like a nut. Zero chill. Sweat pouring off him. He's been running the hotel cabal for how long, but he doesn't know the rooms yet? Secret decoder ring. Matt and Elisa debrief. Matt wants to know why Elisa kept the Gargoyles secret for over a year. She admits that it made her feel special. Being the only human they could confide in was a distinction she didn't want to give up easily. I guess she doesn't know about Robbins and Renard. I like this scene here where Matt and Elisa are chatting in the clock tower. Matt leaves work, sad that he won't be an Illuminati member. He should instead be scared that they'll push him through a window because he knows too much. Outside, he finds Hacker waiting for him. The old partner has a gift, an Illuminati pin. Yep, Matt's now a member. And there's a picture of him pinning that on there. Okay, membership fees are $250 a year for supporting member, $350 for associate, $5 for bronze, and $50,000 for platinum supreme member, wherein you get access to the clubhouse pool on weekdays. Apparently Matt's betrayal, success at bringing Goliath in, impressed them. It wasn't Matt's job to hold him, it was Mace's. So it's totally cool with them that Matt obviously was never on their side. Well, I hope he watches his back, because this organization is not one to be trifled with. Turns out Hacker was trying to keep Matt away from Mace, and Hacker thought the stepson lead was just another wild goose chase, like the many others he'd sent Matt on. But Matt's detective skills came through. I wonder how much Hacker actually pushed for Matt's acceptance. I'm assuming he did it as a way to save his own neck after accidentally giving away a major clue to Mace's location. Yeah, see, it's not... I know Greg said that it was Mace's fault that he was so easy to find because he went every week and laid a rose on the grave. But, there's Hacker telling Matt all about the stepson, and I don't know how long it would have taken Matt to locate that on his own. So it's not completely Mace's fault. I like Hacker, and I wish we saw more of him. He's an interesting character, very likable, with his easygoing demeanor. Well, this is a short review. Yep. That's because this episode is mostly about Matt. It shows he's a good schemer and is loyal to the Gargoyles. The revelation of the Gargoyles to him will open new opportunities for stories, no doubt. The increased presence of the Illuminati will also turn up later, I bet. 2020 moment. The Illuminati is a major mover in the SLG comics plot. It sends House Xanatos to visit the White House and encourages the Quarrymen to destroy the Gargoyles. The Society is essentially supporting both sides of the Gargoyle issue in an effort to increase its own already expansive power. It's kind of like the banksters who supported both sides of all our wars. Yeah, look it up. So let's take a sec to look at Mace's character. He's a powerful crime boss who sold his soul to society. Not that he probably had much choice or much of a soul to begin with. You don't get to call the shots when you're working for what's essentially a gang on steroids, the Illuminati. When they say jump, you ask off which building. I don't think it took much coaxing to get him to side with them, though. Their retirement plan includes dental, rejuvenation, and a pension. That beats Medicare and Social Security. Plus, a gangster doesn't have many qualms when it comes to working for a shady organization. The Illuminati saddled Mace with the job of dealing with the Gargoyles because he had Matt under his sway. Old age and cunning are supposed to trump youth and vigor, but they overestimated Mace a bit here. I'm almost wondering if somebody in the Illuminati just wanted to get rid of Mace and they wanted to kind of make a point with it, or they maybe had a grudge against them. There could be a lot of different reasons why they pushed him into this job. Because honestly, it seems like he's getting a bit too old for it. You're really going to have the old guy be in charge of holding a monster, for lack of a better word? Mace enjoys running the hotel cabal. One gets the feeling he's seen many a person lose their minds here. He certainly gets a kick out of goading Goliath and watching the Gargs suffer. When an antagonist enjoys cruelty, they truly earn the title of villain. They also lose a lot of appeal for me, because while torture may have its place in a villain's scheme to get information from the hero, enjoying the suffer is just low class. His one redeeming quality was that he loved Flo Dame. I wonder if he sent her funds to take care of her and the stepson. The main interest for me at this point is what became of him. I don't know if Greg's thought about him just being dumped there is canon, or if it's just sort of an idea. If nothing else, somebody had to come and clean up. So, it's not like anyone was going to miss him. I think everybody thought he was already dead. I don't know how useful he was to the Illuminati anymore anyway, as they probably made their own connections in organized crime. Well, I guess it saved him a couple bucks getting rid of him, what with all that he was consuming with his old age. But again, you do that to too many people, and they're going to figure out that the whole pension end-of-life program really isn't worth it, because they're not going to see the end of their days in a natural manner. Final thoughts. The Illuminati has had some attention throughout the series, most notably in that it's the source of David Xanatos' wealth, or rather, he used them 1,000 years ago to send himself a coin that would be the seed of his fortune. They were nothing more than a FedEx truck that had a delivery date 1,000 years in the future, which honestly is about when most FedEx trucks will arrive, if they arrive. Other than that, they've been an urban legend, an organization of unknown proportions, and they'll remain a bit shadowy, nebulous, vague as we move on. I'm wondering if the horrible idea of putting Mace in charge of this project, something he's totally not qualified, was some power player's way of moving up the Illuminati. Take out the old man and take over his spot. Maybe it was just a step down to the real rival. Or maybe it was just a step to take down the real rivals. Just he was one rung on the ladder. Perhaps the society just got sick of looking at him. Now, about the Illuminati as this being, about this episode being the first episode where we really see a lot of the Illuminati. Like, they are the ones who actually set up this whole plot. I don't know if I really like this as the first episode for that, because it shows them to be sort of a very vindictive, heartless organization that doesn't even take care of its members, yet expects like loyalty to the death from them for their entire life. And it doesn't seem very appealing, and almost makes you wonder why on earth Xanatos would join it, other than the 1,000 years time set up to get his wealth. And it almost doesn't make them look very powerful that they would have to do this to get at Goliath. Like, many of the other antagonists have done a lot worse or gotten him in tighter situations without having to use some giant, crazy cabal hotel. So I don't really know what they could have done to make them look better, but there had to be something. It's part of why I don't like this episode. It doesn't seem to do the Illuminati justice, because they become quite the power player later on, and they are extremely dangerous if you rub them the wrong way. But here it just kind of makes them look weak. Even the fact that they would allow Matt to join, I don't know. It just could have been done better. Like I say, I don't really know how, but I just didn't. This episode just was not one of my favorites. Alright, next time we meet a new player in the game, one who combines the best aspects of Xanatos and Goliath. It's Xanatos' pet project. This time David may have gotten in over his head. It's never good to make a minion that's smarter than you. It's one of my favorite episodes, Double Jeopardy. So what did you think about this particular episode, Revelations? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you like Mace? What did you think of the Illuminati? Anyway, leave your comments here or on the blog. Remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.